You can just,
The whole, start with it and read the whole thing
Okay.
through.
We checked on the record of, death record of Thomas L. Matthews in Concord, New Hampshire.
No, watch it.
We did the checking at the State Record Center, which is,
This is
I
different.
don't know what side of town it is, but it's
This is
over the bridge,
I get over so I
over
can
the
hear
river
it.
bridge, Number
I
Hill.
was telling you
You know
about.
where that is?
Well, it must be,
Side.
yeah, okay, so you're going up to where you get your license, all the
Right,
state
the
buildings.
whole state building.
Yeah, Loudon Road, I think
Right.
it's called. Yeah, yeah, I know. There's a historical society up there.
We checked the record and found out that he died October 20th, 1919, and he was 85 years old at the time. He had been in the New Hampshire State Hospital for 33 months. He died of a cerebral hemorrhage. Also on his death record, it listed his father and mother, and this is new information we didn't have before. His father's name was Henry, and Henry was a wool salesman. His mother's name was Sarah Hartley. Notice that in all the death records that they list the wife's maiden name always rather than her married name.
They're called White Road or something.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, the
that way you
gravestones
get
are-
another, you find out the other family that way. The cemetery where he's buried is called the Turkey River Cemetery. And if you're in the center of Concord, going out on Route 13, which is Clinton Street, it's on the left-hand side.
I know Clinton Street.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have a friend who used to live off Clinton Street.
Really?
And it's sort of as you get out of the built-up area, apparently, and there's a greenhouse there.
Yeah?
And it's just beyond that greenhouse.
Wow.
This is state
God, I've
property.
been there. Yeah,
I know, St. Pauli, right?
yeah.
It's a dirt road.
Poor family, the state house, that's what it was, poor family, they took care of the elderly.
What we were doing
I have to get my sweater.
on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday was checking all of the birth, death, and marriage records on Matthews, the name Matthews, in Vermont and New Hampshire. We went to Montpelier and Burlington and Concord to do that checking. I did the checking myself in every place except for the late records in Concord. There they do the checking for you, and you pay $3 for each one.
Cheap enough.
Well, I know, but you can't do as much. I mean, all they'll do is check the one name. And they would check Theodore Edwin and Edwin Theodore, but they wouldn't check all the other names. And it cost me $3 just to check that one. Then I also had them check Theodore Edwin or Edwin Theodore Rothwell, which was his mother's maiden name. So I thought maybe if you were going to change his name, maybe he might have used that. So that's what we did in all of those places. And all the other places we were able to check them ourselves. But we found nothing. When we came back here, I've been checking in the courts, the court in Greenfield and the court in Orange, to find out if there were any naturalization records. There were none. The people in the court were very helpful. And when we were in Greenfield, they called Orange to see if they had some old records. And they said they did, and they said, well, they'll be down there in a little while. When we were in Orange and we found nothing there, they called over near Amos someplace to check with somebody there to find out where the records might be. And they said we should check at Northampton. So we're going to check at Northampton on the way home. We also checked birth records and death records and marriage records on Thompsons and Rossons in both Orange and Warwick. And I also talked to Charlie Morse in Warwick. And I was able to connect the information that I have that goes back several generations to a Lemuel Rosson. Lemuel Rosson, the Rosson family is grandmother Thompson's family. Her name was Rawson.
How do you spell that?
R-A-W-S-O-N. And so I found that I had Lemuel and Lemuel Jr. Lemuel Jr. is grandmother's grandfather. Her father was Marble.
Ah,
And so Lemuel Jr. was her grandfather. Lemuel Sr. was her great-grandfather. And I think his father was named Josiah. And his mother was named Hannah. And what I was trying to do in checking on them was to find out the connection between Lemuel and Edward Rawson, who was the first Rawson that came to the United States. He came in 1637.
Oh.
And they're all related. They were all related. Josiah was related to David, William, to Edwin, approximately in that order. I got the Lemuel Rawson Jr. ran out of space, so I have to take Lemuel Rawson Jr. and put him on a new page, and then go back again. But some of that information I have, I'm not sure of, so I have to do some more.
Do they have genealogical societies anywhere around you at all? Yeah. The thing is, you'd probably get a lot of help.
Well, I've been to one of their meetings and listened to somebody talk about it, and then I've started going to one of these Mormon centers where they have microfiche and
You think that's going to be helpful? That's what I was going to.
I don't know. They have, most of the information I've seen so far is very old, and so I don't know if it's going to be of any value or not. One of the things I'm trying to do now is to see if I can find the connection between Grandfather Thompson's relatives.
That was Grandpa Matthews.
They were supposed to have started in Warwick, Massachusetts.
W-A-B-A-N?
Yeah, Waban.
W-A-B-A-n? Is that the town?
Yeah.
No.
W-O-B-U-R-N?
No,
Yes.
no, there's a Waban.
I know.
It's Woburn, W-O-B-U-R-N.
Okay, Woburn,
Woburn.
Woburn in our
We
language.
call it Woburn, them that live there call it
See,
Woburn.
there is a Woburn, Uncle Lloyd, W-A-B-A-N
Yeah,
also.
it's a very,
I know, my teacher lives there. My teacher, I haven't
Well,
So
anyway.
Woburn.
That's where the Thompsons were supposed to have come from. And
Really?
I have some information about all. Yeah, and I have some information about all the early ones who lived there, but I don't know who followed them, what the connection is between Daniel Webster Thompson. Now, his dad's name was Barney, and they think his dad's name was Caleb, but we don't.
Yeah, that's
know.
interesting that he was named Daniel Webster Thompson. What's behind all that? Do you know?
No, I don't.
I find that fascinating.
I imagine he probably, at the time that he grew up, I imagine Daniel Webster was probably an important figure at
Same
that
as you
time.
got,
Yeah.
you and Lloyd, you and Alan.
Got
got the
presidents' middle
names
names.
in your middle
Yes.
names. Yeah.
well,
So
there's
probably
Ralph
that's what it
Theodore.
was.
Yeah, well, that was a
Are you ready to hear about Melina?
Certainly
Yes, I
am.
want to hear that. I haven't heard about that yet.
Melina D. Matthews is Thomas Matthews' wife, second wife. She is not the mother of his children. She's the second wife. He married her over here.
And she was a lot younger. What was her age? You got that?
She was just a few years older than John Matthews.
Oh, yeah?
She was born in 1857, and he was born in like something 1861, something like that. They lived in Danbury, New Hampshire. Her previous residence was Fitchburg, Massachusetts, so I figured they must have married someplace in Massachusetts. She died on May 29th, 1934, in Danbury.
Oh, that's the same year that our brother died, John.
She was 77 years old, 4 months and 2 days. She's buried in Riverdale Cemetery in Danbury. She was born in Catalina, Newfoundland. This is, I don't know if you noticed on the other one and this one, you get a lot more information. You get a lot more information on a death record than you do on a birth record. because they tell about the parents and where they were born and so forth. She was born January 27th, 1857. Her father was John Drummond. He was also born in Catalina, Newfoundland, and he was a merchant. Her mother was born in St. John's, Newfoundland. Her cause of death was cerebral arteriosclerosis, chronic nephritis.
Oh, really? Or would you like to explain
She
that?
had double
Eddie
jeopardy.
says, what's chronic nephritis?
It's kidney.
Kidney problems?
Over, you know, what you have
Was
for a long
it
period of time.
A nephrophiliac, was she? Chronic, all right. Thought it was something awful.
Yeah.
Closet stuff.
Oh, you might be interested in this. When I was looking in Warwick, I found a Reverend Increase S. Lincoln.
Wow, I've never heard that name before.
I'm sure.
I found
was
an
that
old
Lincoln
gravestone
today?
in a cemetery today. Did you know there's a Jopham, is it Jopham Lincoln, and his wife? He died in
In what
1896.
cemetery?
Jotham in Warwick.
In Warwick?
In
We were up in the
Warwick?
cemetery today. I spent a lot of time.
Jotham Lincoln, and his wife is buried there beside him, and he died in 1896. He was 70 years old.
There's something not right about the dates that they had.
Well, if you'll give me those names on a piece of paper, I'll ask Fred if he knows
Okay,
anything
good.
about who they are.
What's
And
not
Charlie
Fred's
Morris.
memory isn't so
Yeah.
good, yeah?
That's Charlie
Give
Morris.
me that name on a piece of paper if you got a manuscript.
Put that down, Rick.
I also saw a Cushing Lincoln, and a Mary and a Dean.
Well, Mary Lincoln, I have heard that. I've heard them mention that. Now, they are some relatives of the Lincoln family. I've heard of Mary Lincoln. I've heard him talk about that.
What do I want to say? What was his, Jotham's dates?
Was there
He
anything
died
about
in
an estimate in
1896,
there?
I didn't.
1885 or
I was
86,
checking
and
early
he was 70
1800s.
years old.
Yeah.
And I couldn't read how old she was when she died, but she died in
Well, I think it was Esther Ann that lived with the Lincolns when they
76.
first came.
Okay,
to
what was her
Warwick,
name
and I
now?
remember, I used to go there. And she
I
said,
don't remember
"You
I've got a
my
picture of
name."
it, so.
Her name was Esther Ann. My name was Esther, see? And that was,
When I was in Orange, I also checked on
Yeah, the Lincoln's
Ida
mother.
Matthews, and she was 85 years old and 3 months and 17 days when she died. She died September 10th, 1971. She died of a coronary occlusion.
Is that a blockage?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
probably because
occlusion
that's
means
what she used
You'll
to
have
have.
to ask
probably,
Eddie, she's the
blockage.
medical
Okay.
expert.
John says, yeah, we're on the right track.
And she had arteriosclerosis. She died in Athol. Her residence was listed as Orange.
Yeah, she lived in Orange a number of years before she went down to Shirley. She was in nursing home a little while there, and she died in the paper nursing home in Orange.
I think now that you know almost everything I know.
Really?
Hey, and we did it in the short of time that we did it.
Yeah.
Well, I remember.
Thank you for all your time and
71 when
energy.
she died. I remember that was the day.
Now I can.
Now we're legitimate.
That's
I've
great,
read it
Uncle
and
Lloyd.
I've
Boy,
read
a
it
lot
and
of
I-
time went into that, didn't it?
I've got that in my newsletter, you know.
2 high box full of bees.